Hey, it's Jesse from startcopywriting.com, and welcome to the dedicated channel where I share with you copywriting tips and how to start your own copywriting business. In today's video, I want to share with you my story and how I got started in the copywriting business about 7 years ago. Now, before I tell you exactly how I got started, I want to let you know where I am today and what's possible for you. So nowadays, I just have a fantastic lifestyle. You know, I get to work from home, I get to be my own boss, I get to wake up when I want to, I get to start work when I want to. And like I said, I can work from home, I can work in my pajamas, I can work down by the beach near where I live, I can work in a coffee shop with a pen and a pad. And it just is a fantastic lifestyle. I've even traveled in the last couple of years and been to Europe and to Asia and, you know, even to America, lots of different places. It's just a fantastic freedom this copywriting business can give you. So that's where I am nowadays. But 7 years ago when I started, I had no experience. I didn't even realize that I wanted to be in the copywriting business. So what happened? Well, my story starts really in school. In school, I want to let you know that I was really bottom of the class. So I had a learning disability. I was diagnosed in the first year of school with a learning disability. And I didn't actually learn the alphabet at school with all the other kids when everybody else was learning it. I learned the alphabet at home because I was falling behind in class. And my teacher sent me home. My parents, taught me the alphabet at home. So, writing didn't come easy for me. And I failed English in high school. And I never went to university. Some people ask me, did you study copywriting or marketing or advertising at university in order to become a copywriter? Well, the answer is no. I've never actually been to university. So how did I get my start? Well, after school, like I said, I didn't go to university. I worked a range of odd jobs. I worked in a supermarket packing shelves. I worked in a fruit shop packing fruit. I worked in telephone sales. I ended up doing door-to-door selling, knocking on doors, telephone sales, selling to people at dinner time. I did all kinds of crazy and interesting jobs. But for a few years, I found myself in sales, and I was doing different kinds of selling. And I worked for one company in Australia, in Queensland, and I was doing phone sales and I was doing face-to-face selling, and I got a lot of good experience in selling and persuasion by simply doing it every single day. And I do recommend to people out there who have an interest in copywriting, you will find yourself better equipped as a copywriter if you have had experience in selling, whether it's on the phone or face-to-face or just any type of selling. It's going to aid you when it comes to selling in print, because really copywriting is salesmanship in print. The two skills are transferable. So I was in sales for a long time, and one of my bosses, he had a huge library in the office, and it was all these different marketing books and books on advertising. And I remember some nights after work I was bored and I started to read some of these books. And I stumbled across a book on copywriting by a legendary copywriter called Joseph Sugarman. And the book was called Advertising Secrets of the Written Word. And I loved that book. And through that book, I discovered copywriting, which really was salesmanship in print. So I read this book and I fell in love with copywriting. I discovered this passion that I had for writing, because I'm actually a very creative person, but I'd never found something where I could have a creative outlet. So I wasn't very good at art in school or anything like that. So I found my creativity expression would come through writing. So I read this book, I loved copywriting, started to read all the books I could find on copywriting. And if you're interested in becoming a copywriter, you definitely want to learn about the trade, just like you're watching these videos. And I'm going to teach you a lot of copywriting tips and lessons in the upcoming videos. But one of the best things you can do is go and study from the masters. Now you may be thinking, well, what books do I read on copywriting? Well, there are so many, but I'm going to tell you the top 3 books that I really got the most out of. The first, of course, is Advertising Secrets of the Written Word by Joseph Sugarman. In fact, read everything and anything you can by Joseph Sugarman. He's just a fantastic mentor. Another one is Web Copy That Sells, and that's by Maria Veloso. And again, that's a great book because it's going to tell you about writing copy for the internet, which is very different than writing copy for advertising, for anything offline. This is an online copywriting book, and it's a fantastic book. Another one I recommend you should definitely check out is Influence by Robert Cialdini. And that's going to teach you the persuasion secrets and secrets of selling to people covertly. And that is a fantastic book for learning the principles of selling and, of course, persuasion that work online or offline. So I read all of these books, and I recommend you go check out those books. Once I read all those books, I then decided to study sales letters. So now I knew what to look for. I started to read and read and read direct mail pieces, advertising in newspapers and magazines. I read all the kinds of direct response sales letters I could find, and I really was just filling my head with all of this knowledge. And one thing, and I really recommend you do that too if you're getting started in the copywriting business, you want to read as much advertising as you can, because at the end of the day, that's your craft. That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be writing ads as well. So I read all these advertising books. I read all these different types of advertising, online sales letters, email, sales letters, email campaigns, direct mail pieces, postcards, everything. So now I had all the knowledge. I just didn't have much experience. So my university of copywriting came from studying hundreds, possibly thousands of pieces of advertising and reading all of the top books. That was my university in copywriting. So I didn't have any experience. So here's how I got started. I got experience by writing for some friends who had businesses who needed some copywriting done. They needed advertising written. They needed ads to be put on their website. They needed to send email campaigns. And I wrote for 2 friends in the beginning for free. And I recommend you do the exact same thing. Why? Because you want to get experience without any pressure. So if you write for someone you don't know for free, they may take advantage of you. And that's one of the dangers of copywriting, especially for new copywriters. You write for free, then all of a sudden they ask for a million changes. You end up working for them for like a month, keep just writing and writing all this stuff for them, and you have no real benefit to you other than a bit of experience. It's better to write for a friend because they're not likely to take advantage of you, okay? So find friends or colleagues or associates who you can write for free for experience, and you're going to feel less pressure because you're not actually taking anybody's money, right? So I wrote for 2 friends for free. I felt much more confident. I had some of my own experience, and from there, I was then able to start my copywriting career because I had now a portfolio. I had about 3 pieces of advertising I could then show people and say, look, this is my work, and I can write something similar for you. And that's how I got started. So I really recommend that you do the same thing. I recommend you study every piece of advertising you can get your hands on. Have a real interest in advertising, whether it's sales letters on the internet, whether it's direct mail pieces you receive in the mailbox, whether it's email campaigns you receive, study them. You'll start to notice a pattern in how those mediums are used to sell things. And then, of course, practice writing. Either write for free for a friend, or you can write for a product that you see in a store or on the internet and just write your own ad for it. You don't have to show anybody, but you get that experience in writing. So that's how I got started in copywriting. That's what I recommend you do first if you want to get your copywriting skills up and you want to get started in copywriting. All right, so that's all from me today. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again.